You are going to get hacked. Yes, you heard that right. You are going to get hacked. And here's how you find out. You open your mail one day and you get a letter from the bank. The bank says you have insufficient funds. You're bouncing checks all over town. You get a phone call from the bank. The bank says you have suspicious charges on your charge cards. They're canceling all your charge cards and sending new ones. You should get new ones within 2 weeks. Or even worse, somebody runs into your office and she says, I was a victim of identity theft shortly after I became a patient with you. My medical record number, my social security, my x-rays, they're all online because of you and your weak security. You're negligent. Then she goes home on Yelp and she rips you apart. You are going to get hacked. It's just a matter of time. You're going to get hacked unless you do what I say. My name is Mark Anthony Germanos, and I'm a certified ethical hacker. Ethical hacker, what's he talking about? An ethical hacker is a person who goes in to look at a network and find vulnerabilities. Then we help the decision makers remediate or clean up those vulnerabilities. It's kind of like calling the fire department, having them come in and tell you where a fire would probably start if a fire were to break out in your office before the fire actually happens. What are the good guys you want us to come in? And I have a slideshow, so let the slideshow begin. Well, heck, a computer guy with certifications and logos after his name. Imagine that. This presentation is sponsored by my 4th book, How Hacks Happen. There are 2 personas here. One is me, who tries to protect you. The other is Brad Cracker, the bad guy, who wants to put ransomware on your computers, who wants to install keystroke loggers to record passwords as you type them, or maybe he just wants to steal data and sell it on the dark web. We have 5 objectives today. We're going to talk about the hardware and the software that hackers use. We're going to talk about how you can go to prison or how to avoid going to prison. We'll see how to reveal hidden Wi-Fi. And here's a spoiler alert. Even though you go to your wireless access point and hide the SSID broadcast, or you hide the name, people will still come in with their phones, their notebooks, or tablets, and they will send a beacon for the wireless name you thought you were hiding here. Next, we'll talk about capturing the handshake. When devices, either wired or wireless, connect to a network, they establish a handshake. And after the handshake is established, then you have a network connection. And as we'll reveal the wireless key, we're going to run a password cracker that will run a long list of passwords against some traffic that we've captured. And we will stumble across the wireless encryption key. Now, sometimes we say password, sometimes we say wireless encryption key. The wireless encryption key functions as a password. In fact, a lot of people say, I need the password for the wireless network here. They're really saying, I need the wireless encryption key, but the functionality is very close to a password. When I hack, I start by doing a quick site survey. That involves grabbing a phone and walking around like this, like an inattentive texter. We see people doing this all over. We've seen hundreds, maybe thousands of people walking around malls, offices, wherever, not paying attention. Well, when I do this, I'm walking around the perimeter of a building looking for wireless networks and the signal strength of those wireless networks. Because the stronger the signal, the closer you are to a wireless access point, and of course, the easier it will be to crack it. These came from my iPhone. The screen capture on the left shows that I'm connected to Treehouse. That's my production wireless network. I'm not going to crack that. But there's one of interest, and that is called East Conference Room. That is going to be our target. On this screen capture to the right, we do not have East Conference Room. And that's because I turned off the SSID broadcast. I made it so this does not broadcast the name East Conference Room when I made this screen capture. But it's still there. East Conference Room is still there. We just don't see the name. We need hardware and software to crack. The software is Kali Linux. It's free and it has a loyal following. On the hardware, I use this. It's a Raspberry Pi, and it's pretty small. I can carry this in a small bag in my carry-on luggage. Did I say this was my computer? No, this is that computer. I have an Ethernet port, HDMI port, audio port, and USB ports. This is the computer. This is a touchscreen monitor. But altogether, I use this to hack. Let's talk about batteries, because my hacking computer does not have a built-in battery. A lot of people say, no big deal, Mark. I have one of these. I carry it with me when I travel. When I find my phone is down to 5% battery life at 12 noon, I just plug the phone into this and it keeps me alive. Well, this will work for your phone, but it won't work for this because this has a much higher load. I went to Amazon and I bought this. This supports a load that is greater than this. So this will support a load of 1 amp, which will keep your phone alive. But it won't keep this alive. I had to get this, which will support a load of 3 amps. So this, my hacking computer, has a load somewhere between 3 and 1 amp. This also has USB ports. I plug it in to my computer or to a wall outlet to charge this. This has held a charge for over a month. The Lord knows these don't. Next up, we have the wireless access card, sometimes called wireless network card. And I bought this. I had it shipped in from New York City. It was not easy to find, and it was a pretty penny. Back in 2020, I had this shipped from New York City to me near Sacramento. And in 2020, this racked up more frequent flyer miles than I did. Okay, that's the joke of the day. Maybe you weren't expecting a joke because you were thinking, oh my God, is this guy gonna hack my wireless network at work? Or maybe I scared you with the, you're gonna get hacked, it's just a matter of time earlier. But here comes a joke. Everybody try to be ready. In 2020, this racked up more frequent flyer miles than I did. My wife liked it. She said, that's nice, dear, but remember, tomorrow's garbage day. This is important because this lets us convert into monitor mode. Let's talk about monitor mode as an alternative to managed mode. Your phones, your notebooks, your tablets, they are in managed mode. They are designed to respond to traffic destined just for the device. Your phone, when it's on a wireless network, will respond to traffic destined just for the phone. Same with your notebook, same with your tablet. But we're talking about hacking wireless networks here. Therefore, I need to capture traffic that is just out there, not necessarily destined for a wireless card. That's why I bought this and had it shipped from New York. This will capture traffic that it sees on the wireless network. Does not matter who it's destined for, it captures all. One way to keep track of managed mode versus monitor mode is that with managed mode, it's kind of like walking down the hallway here at NAIRO and having 100 people talk at once, but there's somebody on the other end of the hallway yelling out your name. All of a sudden, you pay attention to that person and ignore everybody else. It's kind of like managed mode. Then you have monitor mode, which would be like you going into the same hallway where 100 people are talking at the same time, and you listen to and record all 100 people talking all at the same time. We're asking a lot. That's why we need this from New York City. Managed captures traffic destined just for the device. Monitor captures all the traffic. And monitor is necessary for hacking. Let's move on to how to go to prison, because this active hacking is not legal in the United States. You can face criminal and civil charges if you hack. So you get hacked, you get caught, you go to federal court, then you go to federal prison. You can also face civil charges. Let's suppose you hire someone to hack into your wireless network, but they're an ethical hacker. You hire him because you want to find out how your network security is weak. Well, if that patient who I was talking about earlier, who came in your office and said that her PHI was online, and it's because your security is too weak, finds out you hired a hacker, she could go after you in civil court. So not only do you have trouble in criminal court and you're looking at federal prison time, but you're also going to get sued in civil court because you broke a federal law. The way you protect yourself is you have somebody enter into an agreement, a penetration test authorization, and this protects those who are involved with the hack. It makes it so they are indemnified. They will not go to jail or prison. I have one of these on my website. Here's the website address. It's a 2-page Microsoft Word document. I cannot claim author status because I am not the author. I grabbed content from different web pages and put it together, got a 2-page Microsoft Word document, and put it on my logo, on my letterhead. I'm going to ask for your name and your email address. I do not sell email addresses, but I do want to know who is downloading that penetration test authorization. Here's the URL. There's a line on here, determine emergency contact, and I should talk about that. Let's suppose you hire somebody, maybe you hire me or whomever, to come in and hack your wireless network. And let's suppose this person does it on the last business day of the quarter. Bad timing, I know, but I've seen a lot. So he's trying to hack your wireless network on the last business day of the quarter. You have people walking around the office, they're tense, they have deadlines, they're trying to get things done. It's the last business day of the quarter, and they can't. Then they go to the CEO and they say, I don't know what's up with the network today, but man, I'm trying to get my job done and I can't. The CEO could say, I wonder if that hacker is trying to hack us now. So the CEO would call the hacker and say, hi, are you trying to hack us now? And the hacker would say, yes, I am. And the CEO would say, stop. We got people walking around, it's the end of the quarter, they're kind of tense, they're trying to do the jobs, they can't. Can you wait? Can you do your hack over the weekend or after hours? And the hacker would say yes. We call this de-escalation. And the way I remember it is that you reduce the impact of a hack. And you can reduce the impact of a hack by doing it when there's nobody walking around. Let's continue on and reveal the hidden wireless network. Now we're going to have some busy screens here, so just hang with me because we're getting into the nuts and bolts of hacking. We have native wireless cards. This has a wireless card built in, and the name of this is WLAN 0. Computers start counting at 0, whereas you and I start counting at 1, they start counting at 0. So the wireless card built in is WLAN 0, and it's in managed mode by default. I plug this in and this becomes WLAN 1. also in managed mode. Any Linux people in here? If so, you need to kill these processes. I need to put this in monitor mode. And the way I do that is I run the command at the bottom. So I'm going to create a third network card definition. I have the first one in here, I have the second one here, and I have the third one here in monitor mode. See, managed mode records traffic that is destined just for the device. Monitor mode lets this sniff all the traffic. That's why we have 3 network cards, even though there are 2 physical cards. Everybody clear so far? Let's talk about the wireless networks that you'll see, because there are a lot. When I ran this in my kitchen, I found 23 wireless networks. I live in a subdivision where it's single-family housing, and I was rather amazed that there were 23 wireless networks. I thought maybe 10 tops, but whoa, Mark was in for a big surprise. The first one is Treehouse, which is my production wireless network. I'm not going to hack this. I'm running a business too. We're going to focus on the BSS ID, which is on the far left, the channel, and then the ESS ID. The BSS ID is the MAC address of this. When we talk about MAC addresses, we talk about serial numbers assigned to network cards. They're all 12 characters. The first 6 represent the company. The second 6 are assigned by the company. When we look at the BSS ID here, we have B4750E2194D1. That is one of the MAC addresses on here, one of the BSS IDs. That one happens to be for the guest wireless network. And as we move across that first dark row, we see it's on channel 7 and there's no encryption. It's open. It's a guest wireless network. Why bother trying to encrypt the traffic? And the name is belkin.4ce.guest. Next line down where I have the blue, I have the BSS ID, which is a little bit different, but seeing how the BSS ID is so close, I knew instantly that there were 2 wireless networks being created by this one device. Let me have the channel number, channel 7. Let's talk about channels for a minute. These are regulated by the FCC and they function like mini radio stations. Sometimes they jump on each other. We see that happening here. We have 2 wireless networks on channel 7. Last year, a client called and he said, I'm living in assisted living now. My diabetes has hit me hard. I can't work. Now I'm in assisted living. I have this room and my Wi-Fi is not reliable. Can you come by? I said, yes. So I went there to his assisted living home. He's in a room that's about 130, maybe 140 square feet. And I saw his wireless network and I saw another 50. And I saw that they were all jumping on each other or stepping on each other. And I said, the reason why your Wi-Fi is not stable is because you have all these Wi-Fis and they're all stepping on each other. I ended up pulling a cable around the perimeter of the room to get his computer on one side to connect to his Comcast router on the other. I used a 50-foot cable, even though the line of sight was about 15 feet. Too many wireless networks. Wi-Fi not reliable. This happened in an assisted living home, but it also happens in offices, in restaurants, in shopping malls, and apartment and condo buildings where you have a high density. We're going to target one of the wireless networks on here. The BSSID or the MAC address is B475, this is in blue, 0E2194 Charlie Echo. It's on channel 7, and the length is 20. At this point, we don't know the name of East Conference Room. We just know the length of the wireless network name is 20 characters. I run a command. The command is at the bottom, and that reveals the name of the wireless network. So at the command we have in blue, I'm running arrow dump and 2 hyphens, then BSSID and B475 0E2194 Charlie Echo. That is the BSSID back here. It's this. I'm going after a wireless network on channel 7, right here. And now I have the name. This is the enhanced service set identifier, also known as the wireless name. You go into a building, you pull out your phone, you see what wireless networks are available. You're actually looking at all the ESSIDs that are available. Everybody clear so far? Let's continue on and talk about the handshake. Okay, a few minutes ago I said that when a device, either wired or wireless, connects to a network, it creates a handshake. And once the handshake is created, then you have a stable connection, wired or wireless, doesn't matter. You need a good handshake. We capture the handshake. So we already have the wireless name, East Conference Room. My next step is to capture the handshake, because this is still creating a wireless network. Someone's going to walk in with this. This is going to send out a beacon with the name of the wireless network. It's going to find it. Then this is going to send out a handshake. It's going to send out the encryption key. And if I can capture the encryption key, then I can hack the encryption key and get on the network with any device I want. We use a utility called Wireshark, which is a packet sniffer. It captures network traffic. The general strategy is we turn on Wireshark. We start recording or capturing the traffic. Then we kick a device off the wireless network. The official word is deauth, but the strategy is you kick it off. Then it automatically reconnects. And while it's reconnecting, we're still recording traffic. Then we stop recording. So you're going to find that it's pretty convenient for us, the hackers, that these automatically reconnect, because it's the reconnection that we're trying to capture. After we capture the reconnect, we save the file. It's going to be a rather large file with an extension of CAP. And the command we use is called airplay. We run a deauth. Then we have the 0 here. 0 tells the airplay command to deauth over and over and over until the end of time. So with this command, what we have so far, we're telling it airplay, deauth repeatedly until the end of time. And we're going to deauth this device, this client, the 666 alpha 8246 6 delta 73. That is this iPhone. And we're going to deauth it or kick it off of this network. This is the B475-0E2194 Charlie Echo of the Balkan East Conference Room Wireless Network. Zero tells airplay to keep pounding away until the end of time. But I don't need everything here in blue. I could have just skipped that. And if I had skipped that, then I would be attacking every device on the wireless network. All the phones, all the notebooks, all the tablets, all the wireless printers, all the wireless cameras. If I left out what we have here in blue, I'd be attacking everything. Yes, it's hostile because you're basically killing the wireless network, but it's also foolish because whomever is running this command would probably be exposed. See, I'm hacking with this, and I don't want people to know that I'm trying to hack in. But if I knock every device off the network, then people will notice and they'll say, well, either our wireless network is failing again or someone's trying to hack. And I don't want people saying that. If I hack just one device, then chances are pretty good nobody will notice. If it's a phone, even better, because this may be sitting on somebody's desk for an hour and that person doesn't even look at it. Or maybe this person is texting and they don't notice that the phone gets kicked off and then rejoins within 2 seconds. So hacking, part of hacking means being stealthy, not being exposed. Remember, we have a capture file of all our network traffic. Now, I'm not hacking the wireless network here at NAIRO because I don't have anybody's approval to do so, and because I might want to be invited back next year. So I'm not hacking this wireless network, but we are going to use the capture file from when I hacked another one a few months back. In our capture file, we saw multiple wireless networks, and we're going to be cracking the wireless network that is number 4 in the list, East Conference Room. And the capture file has the name Mark Thursday 01. Now we're about to watch a movie, and in this movie, we'll see a password cracker called AirCrackNG in action. And I'm running AirCrackNG with a word list where all the possible words, all the possible passwords start with the letter T. So here's AirCrack. The capture file is Mark Thursday 01, and the word list is t.txt. All the words in here, and we're going to see them in Notepad in a little bit, start with the letter T. But there's also a word list A, word list B, word list C, on and on. I used the word list T to save us some time. The wireless network of interest is number 4, East Conference Room. Let's start cracking. I have that capture file and I'm trying all these possible keys that start with the letter T. And I hope that I will eventually stumble across a password or a wireless encryption key that does work. Now we're going to switch to Notepad and we're going to open up that T word list to see what a word list looks like. And we're also going to hope that the passwords you use are not in the word list, because this word list was free and easy to find. Oh my God, mine is in there. These are passwords. These are passwords that people use on websites that have been hacked. We're at about 22% now. We're going to jump to 95%. When this was running, I paused the recording to save us some time. We're about to jump up to 95%. When we get close to 100, we will stumble across the wireless encryption key or password that gets us on the East Conference Room wireless network. It's a busy screen, but this is what we need. I have the name of the wireless network, which means hiding it did not get the job done. And now I have the key, so I can hop on. Then I can install ransomware, I can install a keystroke logger, I can steal your data. Any Rush fans in here? Okay. Temples of Syrinx, it's a song about a government with too much power. Let's talk about passwords, because this was not a good password. It's in a word list. It's pretty short. It's only 15 characters, and it's in all lowercase. We need to strengthen this password. Make it longer. Change some of these lowercase letters to uppercase. Change some letters to numbers and bring in some special characters. So let's put some muscle into our passwords. And of course, passwords, wireless encryption keys, the two terms are interchangeable. A lot of times people say, I need the password for the wireless network, but they're really saying, I need the wireless key. But password, key, they're interchangeable. Strong key, 25 characters, or 24 characters, because Temples of Syrinx has 15, Tom Sawyer has 9. Then I have a stronger key with capital letters. I have a super strong key with some letters converted to the letter 0. And then I have the uber strong key with S's converted to $signs. And when you go back to work, you should make sure that you're using uber strong keys. But there's a balancing act. And that's because you can set strong security, but if people don't participate, then you kind of defeat the whole purpose of a new, stronger password. I've seen people write passwords in wireless encryption keys on Post-it notes. So if somebody writes the wireless encryption key on a Post-it note, then maybe the key you set is too strong, or maybe you just don't have enough buy-in from your user base. That's something you need to determine with your staff, with the people you support. Will they accept a strong key? How about a super strong key? How about an uber strong key? And when I say accept, that partially means make sure they don't write it down and keep the password in the open. I have a client who they wrote this uber strong key on a dry erase board. Nice and big. Wow. Welcome to my world. You pretty much know where I stand on passwords. Uber strong. There is a person who she uses the same password over and over. Whenever I have to log into a website as her, I guess on this password. And this password reveals the fact that she drives a Nissan Rogue. I usually guess the password as Nissan Rogue, and more often than not, I'm successful. She uses the same simple password over and over and over. What can I do? Look what it's doing to me. I'm traveling across the country talking about security. She's using the simple password over and over. Everybody clear so far? So we've learned today, don't bother hiding the SSID or the wireless name, because people will come in with these and send out a beacon with the name of the wireless network that you're trying to hide back here. Hire someone to hack your network and make sure that they have written permission. That way, nobody gets sued or goes to prison. The hacker should be a third party, because you're kind of hiring an auditor to audit your network. When you bring in an auditor to audit your books, it's probably a third party who has formal training and experience from other clients. Well, with your ethical hacker, it should be a third party who has formal training, who has experience with other clients. Choose a Wi-Fi key that's long, but make sure that your users are on board. Make sure you have buy-in from them, or else they're going to end up writing the key on a dry erase board. And that's something I haven't discussed yet. Change the Wi-Fi key after somebody quits or gets fired. They have lost their loyalty, and they could come back after hours to hop on your network and then go harvest whatever data they want. They can steal data. They can install keystroke loggers. They can install ransomware. Remember, the loyalty is gone when they leave. I know your time is valuable. I know there are other places you could have been, but you chose to be here. You chose to visit NAIRO and walk into my presentation on You Can't Hide Wi-Fi. And for that, I thank you.